Hi, this is your Governor Albert Bryan Jr. reporting to you from Washington, where we're at the National Governors Association. Well, it's been a great week in Washington, and it's all about healthcare, energy, and making sure the Virgin Islands gets as much representation before the president and all of the other cabinet members. So we started off this week talking about health, and it's right on time, and ended this week really speaking with Secretary Becerra, actually the Secretary of Health and Human Services. So we wanted to get a health information exchange, and what a better person in order to be a partnership with than Google itself. So we went to Google headquarters here in DC and had conversations about how do we start taking medical information and creating a database. Why? Because then we can create electronic medical records. So no matter where Virgin Islanders go, they are sure that they'll get a safety of having the right prescription, doctors knowing what labs they have, and what other medication they need to prescribe. Besides that, no matter where you go, your record will be there. You don't have to lug it to Florida or to New York or to Atlanta or anywhere else. Great news for Virgin Islanders. We're about to open up our new hospital. We wanted to make sure that Secretary Becerra understood that it's been 6 years since we had a full service hospital in St. Croix. And in order to open up JFL North, we wanted to make sure that he was sensitive to the fact that we're still in an emergency situation with a temporary hospital while we go ahead and rebuild our total health infrastructure. Another big reason for why we were up here was energy. So we had a chance to testify before Energy and Natural Resources. And coming to DC always gives us a chance to talk to our friends in the Senate as well as Congress. Stacey Plaskett, our delegate, joined us this week. She was right there with us at IGIA and when we testified to talk about how can we make things work for Virgin Islanders. We had some big wins this year with the Medicaid expansion. We have solidified our 83% match. And we wanted to talk about the wins. So whether it was us getting the match or us putting ARPA money to work, wherever it was, I think people were pleased to hear that the money that's being invested from DC is really, really working. So as we move through energy, we also had an opportunity today to talk to Secretary Marsha Fudge, who we're relying on to help us with some CDBG funds to finally fix WAPA and bring low-cost, renewable, reliable energy into the Virgin Islands. Our conversations with insular areas under the Department of Interior are always important. We've been able to talk to this week to Secretary Holland, and she has a lot of concerns about what's going on in the territories because a lot of them have the same problems as we do and others have different. As usual, we hosted our governor dinner with all the governors from the islands and territories. So we were graced with Governor Pierluisi from Puerto Rico, Governor Placiosos from CNMI, and we also had the pleasure of our good friend Governor Lou Guerrero from Guam. When we get together, we work on items of commonality like FMAP and Medicaid. Energy is a big one for us. And now, surprisingly enough, the HB1, HB2 visas. How do we get workers in to our islands and the Virgin Islands, and as well as how do they get workers in from the entire of the South Pacific into Guam, into CNMI and whatnot. So it's been a really good week up here. We got a lot of work done, and we're continuing our efforts. Meeting with members of Congress. We had a good meeting with Senator Crapo, who is a good friend of the Virgin Islands, Senator Lisa Murkowski, who is always trying to help us, Senator Manchin. We also had an opportunity to meet with him for a second. And most importantly, Congressman Jason Smith, who is the chair of the Ways and Means, where big things happen. We're hoping that our work with the delegate is going to be even more productive this year as we bring resources to the Virgin Islands to make our territory stronger than ever. I want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you when I get back tomorrow.